Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U movement. I am B. And it is new moon energy. And I have to say, this is probably one of the first new moons, and I can't even remember that I haven't been totally flattened. Partially flattened, yes, but not totally flattened. So that's new. That feels pretty good. I think along this awakening, I have definitely noticed that I have become discernibly much more sensitive to moon. What's happening with the moon? Is it a full moon? Is it a new moon? And at first it was like the full moons would destroy me, and then it was the new moons that would destroy me. And I'm kind of like, oh, okay. That wasn't so bad. I cut through that one. So do be observant of what is happening astrologically, because we are one with all, which means when new energy happens, so we're new moon in Pisces energy right now, and each of the astrological signs has different energies, and each of the planets have certain energies attached to it. So I'm talking a little bit about energies today because everything is energy, everything. And that's kind of my preamble to bring me into what I want to talk about, because I've had a good few people reach out to me in the last little bit saying, like, help, oh my God, I'm trying to quit sugar and I can't quit. Sugar is, I successfully quit this, I successfully quit that, but sugar is killing me. Or, I'm really struggling with quitting the smoking was another one that I've had recently. And then I'm really struggling to let go of this toxic relationship. And what do all of these things have in common? They're all energy. It is whatever the external thing is, whether it's a planet, whether it's a substance, whether it's a food, whether it's a partnership. These are all represented physically of something that is an energy. Money is an energy. Everything is an energy. And it has an energetic vibe to it, an energetic feeling to it. So like Pisces energy is different than, say, Aries energy. Aries energy is known as a fire sign, action-oriented, fiery, new beginnings, where Pisces energy is, softer, more wrapping up, more feminine energy. So like there's different energies. Alcohol is an energy that brings in a feeling of social interaction. It creates, which means it reduces social anxiety. So if you have social anxiety, I'll have a drink and then I'll calm down. So it's a liquid courage is the energy. Sugar is sweet. It's sweet energy. It's soothing energy. It's that nurturance that perhaps that you didn't receive as a child. Because oftentimes, and no fault of their own, when somebody doesn't have the skills to do better, they rely on what they do have. And so for many parents, when a child was acting up or annoying them or talking or crying or whatever it was that they were doing that they couldn't emotionally hold space for, because let's face it, nobody on the planet really knows how to hold space for somebody else until they themselves have learned to hold space for themselves. And so we've got this generational trauma that has been passed on. And it's us now in the present day that's breaking these kinds of cycles and saying, no, we're not going to do things the way they were. So when it comes to sugar, it's like, shh, stop complaining. Here, have a cookie, go watch TV. Oh, you had a rough day. I'm sorry you had a rough day. Here, have a bowl of ice cream, because I don't know how to deal with your emotions. So I'm going to help you swallow them down with the tool that I myself use. Or, oh, it's your birthday party. We're celebrating excitement. So let's celebrate using sugar, because that's what we celebrate with. We give ourselves a break with sugar when we've had a bad day. We soothe ourselves with sugar. So sugar is like a mother substitute. It is the energy of mommy that mommy couldn't give us, and so she gave us a substitute instead. She gave us a sucker or a cookie or comfort foods, high carbohydrate foods, chips and things like that. And actually, you can break up food into other energies, because like if you were a potato chip addict like me, I loved my potato chips. Crunchy. A crunchy energy is much more like swallowing back anger, because you're... Whereas ice cream or soft pudding-like foods are like more like baby food. So it's like that inner child at a very, very young age we're soothing, this is soft, this is milky, this is, gentle like that. And if we're into like more sour flavors, that's a different energy as well. So like something like some people really like sour things. It's like, even on my face, you can get like, that's a little bit of a bitter vibe. So I'm sucking back some of my bitterness, sucking back and swallowing our emotions and shoving them down. And so when we struggle to quit anything, whether it be, as I said, alcohol, or we, stay in a relationship that is toxic, but yet at the same time, energetically, it's providing you with something. So first we need to identify, what is this thing providing me? Is it providing me soothing? Is it providing me validation? Is it providing me with security or a false sense of security? Is it providing me with, a calming nature, or a way to like get out my aggression, as we munch on something hard? What is this food providing me emotionally? What is the emotional charge or the energetic association to this habit? Smoking, as I've said in many videos, is associated with your lungs, and it's associated often with like a mummy wound. So we're like sucking in the hot air, which is like swaddling the entire heart chakra like you would a baby, wrapped in warmth and comfort and protection. I feel safe, I feel secure, I feel comforted. Whereas alcohol, I feel energized, I feel active, I feel empowered. So each addiction that we have, or attachment to an energy, is because there is a lack. And when we learn to give ourselves the lack in a healthy way, we no longer need an outside source to replace it. So food, sugar, as the primary question was. I'm not getting enough sweet in my life. My life isn't sweet enough. I am stressed. There's difficulties. I am worrying. I am doing all these other types of energies. And what am I not doing is giving myself sweetness. So when we start to give ourselves sweetness by how we talk to ourselves and love ourselves and nurture ourselves and care for ourselves, and what do I mean by that is like literally listen to how you talk to yourself. Listen. Are you saying sweet nothings, or are you saying really bitter, hurtful, painful things to yourself? If you're saying things like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you're doing this wrong, life's miserable, everything is going to go wrong. If you're the inner voice, the inner critic is bitter, We need to replace it with sweet. When we start cultivating sweet as an energy that we create as creators, co-creators in this universe. So people think of manifestation as something outside of ourselves. So let's think of manifestation as something inside of ourselves, that we can co-create our reality of health and wellness by replacing whatever it is energetically that we are using as a training wheel, as a tool, as a strategy, a coping strategy that's outside of us. Because we need nothing outside of ourselves. Well, we need water and oxygen and food, nutrients, but we don't need sugar. We don't need alcohol. We don't need smoking. But if we feel like we need it, what we actually need is what that thing is representing energetically, as opposed to what it actually is. So it's not actually the nicotine that you're addicted to. What you're addicted to is the energy that the nicotine provides, or the vaping, or whatever it is. So that's what the addiction is the addiction to the energy that I don't have. But if I can give myself that energy by how I talk to myself, by how I treat myself, by how I touch myself, by how I love myself, by how I show myself compassion, by how I show myself forgiveness, by how I show myself how to love the fuck out of ourselves, then we no longer need that. We have successfully taken ourselves from a wounded place of neediness and attachment, and we have ascended up out of that energy into a place of self-contained satisfaction and growth, spiritual maturation. We are growing up. A baby needs its milk, its bottle, or its breast. But you don't see too many 35-year-old. Well, actually, I'm going to change that, because I'm sure there's many 35-year-old men that would like to still be on the teat. But you don't see like a mother at a restaurant going, hey, like, come on, to their 35-year-old, because they've grown above that. And if they haven't grown above that, maybe they're sucking on a different kind of bottle or something like that. But what's supposed to happen, the maturation that is supposed to occur as we go through life, if we are fed and given all the energetic nutrients that we need, is we learn to self-soothe. So first, we no longer need the soothing element that comes with suppling on a bottle or on a teat, and then we learn, when we separate from that, we learn how to self-soothe, right? And we learn how to self-soothe because our parent is supposed to teach us soothing. So we're no longer reliant just on the milkiness to soothe us. We have comfort and closeness next, of just being close. But a lot of babies weren't raised that way in North American culture. It was like, okay, you're done feeding. There you go. Get in a crib in your own room, off in isolation, cry yourself to sleep, all of these types of things. So we never learned how to be safe. We never learned how to be soothed. If we didn't learn how to soothe, we can't learn how to self-soothe. And so now we find other ways outside of ourselves to self-soothe. And so if soothing is the energy that you are seeking, we need to soothe ourselves now. And it means reparenting as far back as you need to go. If that means literally getting a hammock and sitting in a hammock and rocking yourself in a hammock because you can feel all swaddled, get yourself a blanket, get yourself a teddy, and lie down and get cozy and warm and soothe that inner infant and say, it's okay. It's okay. Put on some soft lullabies if you want to, if soothing is the energy. If it's sweetness that is the energy that you're after, then we need to give ourselves sweet and kindness. You're so beautiful. You are good. Positive affirmations. Listening to beautiful positive affirmations. Listen to soft, beautiful music. I actually have a playlist. I'll put the link for that in the description for this. My Awakening 2. Which helped me through my dark night of the soul, which was very feminine music and very soft. You're not alone. I have you. Very loving, kind music. So find ways we can be sweeter to ourselves. If it's confidence that we're after, we have to find ways to cultivate confidence that don't require us going and requiring confidence to be given to us from other people or through alcohol. If it is drugs, we need to find ways to tolerate reality the way that reality is, because are your drugs making reality a little bit more palatable, a little bit more tolerable, because reality maybe could be too fearful, reality could be too overwhelming. What is it about reality that is you're trying to escape from? So an addiction is not a disease. I do not follow that belief. There's 12 different theories of addiction, and the belief that it is a disease is one, that is AA. So if AA hasn't worked for you, there is other ways. AA works for a lot of people, and those that it works for, fantastic. That's great. You found a path. There's many paths to healing. There's not just one. And so let's investigate other paths that you could potentially go down if you're struggling to let go of addictions, struggling to let go of eating habits, whether that be certain foods like sugar, or the way that you eat. Are you depriving yourself of food, and then therefore it's an energy of deprivation and or maybe control? Am I trying to micromanage my life by controlling how much I eat and what I eat, and I'm not actually listening to what my body requires and needs, in which case we need to get back into listening and getting in touch with the body? Or am I not controlling what I eat and just eating way too much? It is another imbalance within the chakra system. And I have done a video in the past. Now, it would be a good while back. So check out the chakra playlist, and there's the fears and the addictions of each of the chakras. I might do another one in the future. I have mentioned on a good few times, I do want to get around to doing a lot more teachings on the chakra system, because I have hours and hours and hours of material. I might turn that into actually a course, is kind of what I might be getting led into doing, is creating a course for people to do with some built-in shadow work for each of the chakras. So leave that with me. I'm gonna sit with that and see what comes about. But if you're struggling with any particular substance, trauma bond, anything like that, and you want to book a one-on-one with me, please reach out. Let's figure out, let's get to the root cause of some of your behaviors. Because listen, I'm going to say it how it is. I'm not going to pat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because there's no sugar allowed. I sometimes gonna sucker punch you with a little bit of hard truths, because if we don't face the reality of what the energy is that we're dealing with, then you're just gonna keep tripping over yourself. And I want to see everybody have the same successes that I had. And the way that I had my successes was twofold. Like, one, I identified clearly what I didn't feel like I was getting in my life. If my life felt bitter, I wanted to know that. And with the diabetes and trying to balance sugar, I was like, clearly I don't feel like my life is very sweet, so I need to figure out a way to make my life sweeter. Quitting alcohol, almost became quitting people. It became quitting socialization, in which case it was bringing me back to being with myself for a period of time and getting used to my own company, and learning to just love my own company. And I absolutely adore my own company. And confidence has developed from a natural place that I could go out now, and I don't have a need of alcohol to be amongst people, where before that would have been like, I could never have like gone and socialized without something ever. It just wouldn't have existed in my mind as even something to do. Somebody invites you over to their house for dinner and you bring a bottle of wine, or somebody invites you here or there, you bring a bottle of tequila, depending on the occasion. But now that I've been sober now, and I don't even know how many years it is, 4, 5, I can't recall when the last time I had a drink was. I'm gonna say 2022. So that's 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, it was the last time I had a drink. But even before that, it was like the time I had a drink before that was probably 6 months. So it's been tapering off for about 10 years, less and less and less, as I became less and less social anyways. So yes, identify what it is that you think that this thing that you are doing or you are attached to is providing you. What energy is it that it is providing you? And then when you can identify that, you can find, well, the second part of it is, how can I provide myself with that energy in other ways? And if you need help, I'm here. I hope this makes sense to everybody. I just wanted to do a quick little video on this, and I think that's all I have to say. I will address in another video, because I have had a good few other people reach out about porn addiction. So it's really not that different. Any addiction is an addiction. So what is it providing you? A release of what? What are you trying to release? So I would say, and I have said to other people in regards to that particular addiction, which would be a root chakra addiction, is what are ways that you can release that aren't reliant upon releasing that way? Is it communication? Is it things that you need to, is it emotions? Oftentimes with the masculines, there's a lot of repressed emotions that are at play. And so when we start to sit in our feelings, we no longer rely on a release of gratification like that, because, that's an immediate release. It's a lot more of a warrior stance to be able to say, okay, I'm feeling something. I've got tension and this and that. Oh, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to get my computer. And so buy yourself some time is what I would recommend, and I have done for others, is buy yourself a little bit of time between the impulse and the action, where you say to yourself, okay, for the next half hour, I'm going to sit in this feeling. In fact, that works really for any addiction. If you're craving a cigarette, or you're craving if you're thinking of picking up the phone and texting your ex because you've just recently broke up or something like that, instead of reaching for it, buy yourself a half hour. Give yourself a half hour and say, okay, for the next half hour, I am going to feel fully this sensation that is this craving, because that is the absolute best time, is to figure out what it is that you're craving, what the energy actually is that you are craving. And as I said, it's not the thing that you're craving. The thing is a substitute for whatever it is that you're craving. The energy that you're craving. The thing is a substitute. So we need to look beyond that. So while you're in the, oh my God, I want a cigarette so bad I could die. Oh my God, I really need whatever, or I'm going to like freak out. I need that drink. Okay, sit in it. Okay, I am feeling so much anxiety right now. I am going to just sit in this anxiety. I'm going to absorb myself in the anxiety. I'm going to let come what comes. I'm going to lie in it. I'm going to commune with it. I'm going to talk with it. I'm going to be with it. I'm going to like feel it fully and understand what it is. And I'm going to let it express itself. Because that's what whatever it is trying to keep something else that doesn't want to be expressed. So we're using it as a means when we try to soothe ourselves. What is coming up? What is the trigger? What is underneath it? Dig into it. These cravings are an awesome trigger. Remember, triggers are our opportunity to heal. So when you have a craving for something, view it as a trigger for like, oh, deep, powerful warrior healing coming up now. I'm going to sit in this for half an hour. I'm going to sit in this for an hour, and I'm going to like really find out where this is coming from. This is like monster shadow work for like the absolute toughest warrior. So yes, craving sugar, sit in it. I am craving sugar so bad. Oh my God. Okay. Breathe. Why is it that I need sugar right now? What is this sugar going to provide me energetically that I cannot provide myself? And then listen. Listen to your body. Listens to the emotions. Listen. And let me know how you get on. A little bit of a tool here, a little bit of warrior work, but you're a warrior. If you're on this awakening path, you're a warrior and you can do it. I am sending you my absolute love to everyone out there that's doing the work. I am so proud of you, unbelievably proud of you. And if you want to book with me, feel free to reach out and book a one-on-one, and we can dig even deeper into some of these things that are keeping you looping. You can quit this shit. Whatever that shit is, you can quit it, and you can provide yourself with the energy that you need. Thank you for all the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, the supers, and everything else. See you on Sunday for our next Zoom warrior meeting. If you don't know about our warrior meeting, please join us at the Spiritual Warrior Support Group. Link for that is in the description below. And Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Spiritual Warrior Support Group, where you can talk to other warriors about your sugar issues, or any other for that matter. It's an open forum to discuss whatever you would need to discuss this particular week, because the energy is always shifting and changing.